What's up, everyone? Welcome to the RRBG podcast. Today, I am being joined by very special guests, MTVoid. I'm saying that right, yes?
Yes.
MTVoid.
Perfect.
Justin Chancellor and Peter Mohamed. How are you guys?
Great. I'm great.
Yeah.
How are you, Justin?
I'm also great. Yeah, fantastic. Happy
Yeah.
We're doing a transatlantic podcast. I'm in Poland and
I'm
You're
in
in
Knoxville,
LA.
Tennessee.
yeah,
Knoxville, Tennessee.
Tennessee.
I'm in your hometown of Los Angeles right now, Justin.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just telling Peter, he was asking me, how's LA? Is it falling apart like they show in the media? I'm like, it's really, I mean, maybe if you go to Skid Row, like the really bad areas, but like my neighborhood's fine. I'm not getting broken into or robbed or any of that stuff, you know?
Yeah, it seems pretty mellow to me when I'm back there.
Yeah. I mean, I
yeah.
don't know.
It's fucking crazy. I mean, the media is painting like the picture I get. It's like you go and it's like, yeah, it's chaos. You know.
Look, here's the other thing. I've been to some poor countries. I've been to Peru, Nicaragua, like poverty-stricken countries. And then there, yes, while you're walking around, if you look like a tourist, people are going to try and steal your stuff. That's not like that here. I don't think so.
Yeah.
No.
Still a long way to get there.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. No, I mean, who knows? Who knows? The way things are going, who knows where it goes? But right now we're good. Justin, you and I actually met a few years back at Slide Bar in Glendale. Hanging out with Intronaut boys.
Right.
Yeah,
Boys,
yeah, those are some old homies of mine. I've been following their career since they started, and out in Florida was the first time I saw them back in with Torch in Gainesville. But that was a long time ago.
We actually did. We had David, who's the second guitar player in Intronaut. He drummed on one of our tracks on our first MTVoid album.
Nice.
Yeah.
I read about that. You guys have a few guests. You had Brent Hines as well from Mastodon. That's another homie.
Yeah.
And this album, the second album that's coming out, Matters Not Part 1. I saw you have Eric Imprada from Night Versus.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
How'd you meet him?
I met him when he was at a festival in Europe. He was playing for Fever 333, his previous band. And literally, I just happened to catch them playing on one of the side stages and was blown away. You know, he does all these kind of somersaults and stuff off his drum kit. I mean, it's really mental show to watch. And so I went up and chatted with him afterwards and just really hit it off, became friends with him. So I ended up asking him. He lives quite close to us in LA. I think he's down in Anaheim.
Yeah.
We just sort of called in a few favors with people that we knew, you know.
So he moved to LA, Eric, because he wasn't.
He's always been there. He's always been in Anaheim.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a Cali boy. Yeah, I know him through the Night Versus boys too. Good friends with Nick DePiro, the guitarist from Night Versus. But yeah, Eric is a phenomenal. And I know you guys did like a thing together too, right? During the pandemic, I think you guys wrote a song together. It was just
EXU. It was just like literally, you know, he sent me a beat, and I put stuff on it, and we just kind of went back and forwards, literally exactly the same as me and Peter do. You know, just remotely creating something, you know, bouncing it backwards and forwards across the internet.
How is that for you guys? What are the differences between, you know, throwing ideas out into the internet versus like being in a room together and jamming? And because I'm always used to writing in a jam, you know, in a room. I have never done over email, but it feels a little disconnected. Does that feel that way for you guys in any way?
Yeah, I think it's of course it's way different. You know, it's a different way of working, but. I think it puts you in this, you know, different position, and it challenges you, you know, to get the best out of the files that are being sent both ways. And I also think that it's like it's very kind of modern thing because, you know, it's really cool to connect to people who are, you know, spread apart cross-Atlantic stuff. Otherwise, without internet and without, you know, ability to send this stuff back and forth, it would be impossible, but I think it depends really on whom you're working with. And this album was created during the pandemic, so we had a lot of time, and the turnaround between the files being sent both ways, which kind of started, basically it always starts with, right, Justin, with me sending stuff your way.
Yeah,
right?
with a beat. Yeah, totally.
So it's like, I send him soundscapes or, noises with a big beat structure, and I take care of the whole thing. So he gets sort of almost like a cinematic picture, so he can just, imagine himself the bass line, and he sends me a few tracks back, and I just chop it up. And the turnaround was like a couple of days back and forth, so it kept the tension. And it's, when the tension is there, it's cool over the internet. Where it gets like spread apart. So I send you a file and then I get something back in 3 months. It doesn't really click, but when two parts are just on it, it's really exciting. You get a message in the morning like, oh, Justin is sending me. Oh man, it's blowing my mind. I'm in Poland somewhere, and I get his bass lines and I put it in a fucking arrangement, and I'm like, wow, shit, yes. I start cutting and I send him back, and in a couple of days I get an answer. And if it's good, it's good. If there's no answer, then I'm like,
It's interesting too that you kind of when you're doing it this way, you don't have someone like looking over your shoulder in the studio, so you actually have kind of the chance to react to it completely, privately, without any outside influence. So it's that's a whole different thing. I mean, when you've been in the studio, Peter, with a bunch of people, and everyone's kind of like pulling each other this way and that way, and maybe it should go this way, or maybe you should try this, or start again, or that's not good enough, or whatever. So with this, it's very much your own private reaction, and then I'd send all that stuff to Peter, and he gets my pure instinctive reaction to play with.
And you're right, and there is no like me affecting you like in the same time, like, oh, I don't like it, or go this way or that way. So it's like I get your private moment sent my way, and it's pretty unaffected by anybody in the room. So it's way different. It's a different approach, totally.
I agree about the thrill though of receiving the files. It's kind of like Christmas every day. You send something away and then send off your Christmas note to Santa, and then it comes back 2 days later, a big bag of presents. It's just like really, really pushes along that way. And like Peter said, we keep the tension high, we keep the turnaround pretty quick, and we kind of follow the way it's going, the natural path it takes, which is an exciting thing to see it develop that way.
Hell yeah. Yeah. I've never thought of it that way. The private moment, like that's a really good concept, because in my head, I'm obviously I'm a little younger than both of you guys, but I'm still pretty old. I still got a lot of,
obviously.
Yeah.
If you are old, then we are fucking old. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm 42 actually. It's not too bad, but in
You're
my brain,
up, mate.
I'm catching up to you guys for sure. Yeah. But in my brain, I just prefer the, old school, let's go in a room and blah, blah, blah. But I like that idea of, giving you some time to yourself with what it is, so you can give a natural reaction. Because a lot of times if you're in a room, there's a heated moment. Maybe at that moment you didn't like it, but down like, what, I was thinking about it and it's actually not bad. So it's cool.
I mean, even, when someone plays you a piece of music they've written and you're like sitting next to them, it's almost a little awkward sometimes, check this out. And you're like, like looking at it, what's his reaction, and it's hard to be that kind of objective about it, so I find that.
I think when you jam with band members, with bands, I think it works great when the band is like totally amazing, and all the people in the room or whatever they are jamming are really open-minded, and they're pushing themselves like to go like full on, show me what you got and let's experiment with that. But there are also cases where you're kind of I'm not saying censored, but somebody in the room is just like he's the master of our style, and he's telling you, oh, no, that's you're too far out there. So in a way, when bands are together, are like shaping, the direction of wherever the band is going, in many situations it'd be like they'll stick with some sort of a style, whatever it is. Where we get to do like stuff that we are doing, it's so open that there's no, I'm alone in the studio, there's no any sort of censorship or whatever, like advices go this way and that way. So and we keep it pretty open. So, and there's like a diverse spectrum of files being sent, from noise to soundscape and some stuff that was more like bit oriented. So, and I like challenging Justin, I just it's just like I'm like, okay, I'm sending him stuff and I know like, oh shit, this is not easy, and I'm like, what is he gonna put on top of this drone that I'm sending him? And then I get his response, which I'm like, oh, this is like fucking jazz, he's like, he's painting me like a jazz whatever bass line. And yeah, being surprised is just, yeah, it was always there. So.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So this part 1 of Matters Not comes out November 10th. Am I to assume that there's a part 2 if you're calling it part 1?
Well, that was the idea. We have to do a part 2 now. So.
Yeah, now you have to. It forces you to do it. Yeah, like
yeah. It's a contract with ourselves to do the second record. But yeah, we've got loads of stuff cooking, lots and lots of ideas. I actually, when you shuffle your songs on your phone, I ride my bike while I'm on tour, and I'll just put song shuffle on for my whole entire library of iTunes or whatever. And they pop up every now and then, the sketches that we've been working on. Do you remember Fast Void, Peter?
Yeah.
And I heard that came up yesterday. I was sitting in my dressing room and it popped into the stereo. And I was like, this is awesome,
Is it good? Okay.
I'm great. It's really good. But okay. Yeah, we have a lot of, let's say, piles of ideas, which we haven't. I mean, the record that we're talking about, we really, really worked on it. We went backwards and forwards, even to, mixing and stuff, and getting rid of stuff that we thought wasn't quite up to the standard. So we'll have to really, we'll have to spend a lot of time on this new stuff once we have that time. But the ideas are already there. They're already brewing.
Hell yeah.
And I think it went like sort of, the album like opened the space for, I think, like kind of a, not like a different direction, but I would say that it was all divided into this like beat oriented stuff and more like cinematic stuff. And there is like 2 songs. One is the opener for the album, the current album that is coming up, and the other one is closing the album. And they're both like more like, cinematic mood compositions. So I believe that, well, I think the second part might go a little bit more in a really broad cinematic soundscapey direction, which I think both of us enjoy. So.
Yeah, we have fun doing the real atmospheric stuff. I mean, Peter sends me some crazy soundscape, and actually the first track on Matters Not Part 1 is what's it, Death Survives. But it's actually one take on my bass, just listening to this atmosphere that he sent me, basically, and I just went for it. I don't think we changed anything, did we? We just that was right. Just the
uncut.
Bass.
Yeah, the bass line was
bass line. I mean, it's complete gibberish. It's all like made up, and it's just but it's really. It really works in a way, it's got a total mood to it. So we just like let it be what it was. And there's no beat or time signature or anything to it. So it sort of sets the scene of what Peter's talking about, which we, a style that we'd like to pursue further, kind of almost soundtrack stuff,
Hell yeah. And I think it's probably got to be invigorating for you. I mean, you're you're obviously you play in Tool and you have these projects that are kind of in a box. Like even though Tool is an experimental, progressive kind of project, you still have to kind of fit the toolbox. You know what I mean? Whereas this is something a lot more freeing. You could just feel more artistic freedom there.
Absolutely. And like it's been really fun collaborating with the other people as well. Just, I think there's 3 different collaborations on this album, because once again you get some completely new influence on what we're doing.
Yeah. Are you guys planning on doing live shows with this?
I was thinking yesterday about it because probably this question will come up every now and then. I'm thinking in the future, for sure, when we get time to get together, but it's just something that in my mind needs to be it needs to evolve into almost like a sound system kind of thing, so I need my gear so I can just, generate all those noises and my mic. And I believe like if we could handle it in a sound system, like as opposed to having a just typical band setup, that would be great, with some amazing visuals. We are collaborating with a friend of mine who's been Justin's friends as well. His name is Vahan Bego. He also collaborated with Justin on Undertow 30th anniversary artwork. So Vahan is always with us from the first album. He's also the author of this logo, this MTVoid logo that's Vahan's work. So having somebody he's a sculptor, he's Armenian, and he does painting, but his thing is like sculpting in steel and marble. So pretty much, he's like a third guy, not a musician, but like I've been always bouncing ideas with back and forth with him. So pretty much he was always pushing towards noise. He was like, you gotta send Justin noises. And I'm like, I mean, I was always thinking like we're gonna be like making more like songs like the first album. But then during this Matters Not composing period, I've managed to send some noises, and finally we got some of that done. So it's like it's exciting.
Cool. I love watching they'd send me pictures of when I'd sent back a bass line, and he'd be listening with Vahan, spending the evening at his place, and they'd send me little videos of them listening to what I'd done, which was really fun as well. Really, awesome. To see their reaction.
Yeah, that's a genre of music that I've always had not trouble, but it's I grew up kind of old school rock and roller, so like to get into noise. But you guys, like the song that I heard, there's a song out now, by the way, for the people that are watching and listening. Let's see if Maybelue, how do I pronounce it?
Yeah.
Maybelue. Yeah. What's up with the M and the B and the L are capitalized? What's the meaning behind that?
Nothing. Looks good,
Looks good, yeah. Looks good and feels good. It's a name, so there was it started from a sample, the song, and there's a sample. It's pretty much buried and hidden in there, and it sounded like a child calling Mabaloo. So we had a couple of names going on for this one, and then we decided, okay, let's stick with Mabaloo.
Yeah, it was like a working title that became the real title.
Okay. Well, like I was saying that I heard the song, and it's experimental, but it has structure. It's a song, because I've heard some noise projects where it's literally just static, with like maybe like somebody hits a pan in the distance or something like. So that's a little harder for me to process as a thing, but it is something that's starting to grow more. Like there is like a new shift towards more of a noise experimental, breaking out of the norm of what music is these days. I
think like a lot of stuff's become quite sterilized now, with the technology. I mean, especially thinking about rock music and stuff, it's quite packaged and got quite straight edges to it now. So I think this is kind of an alternate to that, really. You know, it's a whole different direction, and it's a little more expansive in a way. It's a little more challenging too to listen to, but you know, that's it, it's what we're trying to do is provoke you a little bit, so you have some ideas of your own, you know, rather than just give you what you're expecting.
Yeah, there's always, you know, there's always some sort of a glitch going on in this tracks. So it's like whether it's in the texture that is beneath, there is a lot of like atmospheric textures that are almost like behind the scenes, like behind the bass. So I always try to keep it as deep as possible. So when you're listening, you know, well, that would be the best if somebody could, you know, experience new stuff like for, well, years, whatever. Suddenly you listen to that shit and you're like, oh, so there's like another, you know, wall of sound somewhere there. So yeah, and keeping it like really non-linear. So because I'm really kind of, when it comes to rock music, like the linear thing, you know, like you get the chorus and you get verses and all that, and a solo, whatever. It's like it's very repetitive. It hasn't been challenged. Not many bands are really, you know, challenging that, and this album is pretty non-linear. So if you're expecting that stuff will happen in a place that usually it happens, like it does not happen this way here. So it's that and what
I said, you're going to be disappointed if that's what you.
yeah, and it's also tied with lyrics that are also like written in kind of the same vibe. They're non-linear, choosing like to write in English, because the first album is written completely in Polish. And that was Justin's idea when we met in Los Angeles, because it was written in LA and finished at his studio. It was like, you gotta sing in Polish, man. You sound so hard in Polish and so hardcore. Because I used to be in you know, in a band, Sweet Noise. That's you know, back in the days when we met. So Justin was kind of used to me singing in Polish, and I think it worked on that first album. But this time around, I was like, I gotta convince him to, you know, to just explore the English, you know, vibe, and maybe get across to a broader, you know, international, you know, audience. And I was thinking like about the way I could write those lyrics in a really kind of surprising new way that is also glitchy and also nonlinear. So there is this method called cut up technique, and cut up technique was like it goes back to 1920s, to Dada movement, you know, the Dadaists, and it was made famous by a guy, William Burroughs, a poet and an American writer. And then the most famous artist from our era is David Bowie. He used to, you know, do that. So basically, you take a bunch of text, lyrics, whatever sources you pick them up from, like newspapers, you know, media, books, and you just put them in a program, and it pretty much randomizes the words and the sentences. So it kind of chops it up completely. It was invented, when they invented it, it was like they used to cut up with scissors, like books, you know, each word separate, put them in a hat, boom, 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 and then just pick up random words and make sentences out of that, right? So you get a completely mind-bending, you know, collision of words that you would, I think it's impossible to write this way without using this technique, because it's like, so, and I was like, I'm going to try that. So I tried this, and I've sent Justin, I don't remember which song was the first, but I think you kind of listen to it and you're like, what is this what is this lyrics? What is this shit? And I'm like,
kind of
you mate, this is a deeper story. It goes back, to 1920s. And I'm like, and then I started explaining that to him. So,
it's
and I
really
think,
cool. It's just like that's like all the ideas are really freed that way. Now that I know what's going on, I can see how it's kind of released the words into their own kind of freedom. By mixing everything up and keeping it random and not being so straightforward. It's very poetic. It's like thought provoking rather than instructive.
Yeah, it gives me the image of the old like ransom notes that we piece together the
Oh yeah,
letters from
yeah,
different.
yeah. Totally. Or it's like when you used to draw the monsters when you were kids. Someone would draw
Oh
that
yeah.
and then fold it over, and then someone draw the body, fold it over. Someone
Oh
draw
yeah.
the when you pull it
I
out.
didn't know that. I didn't know that one.
Yeah, then you've got
You know,
like three people's idea of whatever it is.
oh yeah.
And you all look at
Basically,
it.
that's it. Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
similar.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
I'd like to, in future, I think I'd like to explore that more. Maybe even, try to make kind of chop music in this way. It's a little bit more challenging because you get this atonal shit, and it's just like not so easy with words. It's like pretty much it can go. It's just like it depends on how open-minded you are to listen to this, because I've been reading books written in this mode, in this style, and it's really challenging. It's like, oh, am I gonna give up or am I gonna dig in this? And it's like, and the interpretation is like so wide. What appealed to me, because we've been talking about a portal, like MTVoid being a portal back in the days, back in LA. Justin was a couple of times, he said like, I wanted to be like a portal to take us somewhere, and then we're gonna build like this musical structure, musical world, tying together all of the things we like, and so it kind of transcends us like somewhere else. And in this writing style, they say, and I agree with that, that sometimes when these words collide in a really like powerful way, like they don't fit but they collide. They say that when you chop up the present tense, you get the opportunity to look into the future. It's like between those words sometimes you're like, and there are like a couple of spots on the album when I'm able to like, okay, this is 2140,
Okay.
kind of thing. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And what do you dream about when you're reading these books, Peter? It's like
What am I dreaming?
Yeah,
Oh
it must
man,
like be insane.
hey, no, I
Ahead
mean,
of yours.
it's in this album. When you listen, this is my this is
There it is.
exactly what's going on in my head. It's just the result of like,
That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
That's
Cool.
awesome, man. I really appreciate that because it's it's a time now where we're leaning into this world where people are using AI to create stuff, art, music, and it's starting to feel a little homogenized, a little like scary. So I want something more challenging, something to remind us that it's not all just a programmed AI kind of thing. We want you to use your brain and kind of think more. And I really, really do appreciate. I mean, the song that's out right now is fantastic. I can't wait to hear the rest of the album. I know we're out of time, unfortunately.
Yep.
I mean, I would love to talk to you guys for 3 hours, but but hopefully, we'll meet down the road. Justin, you're on the road right now with Tool. How many more dates are left on that tour?
Ooh, I don't even want to look. I think it's about another
1 year.
Another 20. Yeah, no, we're home at Thanksgiving, so
Okay.
we've got about 3 weeks to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and Peter, you're not on tour, but the album release is coming, so you're going to be doing a lot of press. Where would people let people know where they get the album, social media, all that stuff?
Oh, the social media. I don't think we're very strong with social media, but you got to find us on Twitter. It's at MTVoid.
Okay.
And you can find me on Twitter as well. It's at that's complicated, at Glatza SN, which is GLASN G no GLATZA CASN. Yes.
Okay.
And
So
also, you can Lobal Orning is our website. It's kind of my central, my area where I've got my stuff, but we've got a whole section for MTVoid on there, and you can order the record on Lobal Orning.
Yeah, there's a very beautiful vinyl, I believe, on the website right now, available for pre-order.
Yeah, I'm excited. They just finished all the printing, so it's ready to go.
Awesome. Well, I'll put all the details in the description below the video. Thank you guys so much for your time. And like I said, hopefully I'll run into you, Justin, at some point while we're in town.
Yeah, man.
All right, brother. Take care, guys.
Good to see you both.
thank you, guys.
Bye.
Best vibes.
Love you, man.